Yeah. You know, like last week and the week before, YouTube was giving me all sorts of YouTubey things. You need to rub the oil, always rub a bit of oil, say the prayers, do the incense, all that sort of stuff. It's fixed itself. It looks normal now. So apparently everything should be working. Is everything working? Are we here? Jackus Woods, Andy H. Red Richard, the Eternal Crusader. Are we here? Are we live? Is everything fine up your end? Everything seems to be fine up my end. Don't question the tech. I did question the tech. We questioned the tech, or we started off by questioning the tech. Well, by questioning why did the tech break up my end, but not break up your end, and now the tech is fixed again up both of our ends. It's listening. It's listening. Don't question the tech. It's listening. I, for one, welcome our new AI overlords. Okay. I've seen the movies. You got to be nice to these, otherwise they sort of like nuke Los Angeles or something, and Sarah Connor has to do some stuff. That's what happens. Some like it up 'em. Is the guys? Hi, welcome to this Talkie Tuesday live stream with me, your host, Winters SEO. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know if the sound is working. We've got the electrolytes ready to go. Stay hydrated. The Nurgle. I'm assuming this is. Thanks for not answering the question, chat, at all. Thanks. But I'm assuming all the sound is fine. It's all good. It's all good, allegedly. We're good. Evening, Wolfboot Chronicles. Welcome. Apparently the sound is fine. So we know the sound is fine. The sound is fine. We're good. We're locked in. Not enough heresy. Yeah, man. There should have been a heresy like last week. But see, the thing is, I want to have a nice mixture of 40k and heresy, because I like playing both of the systems. Most people play 40k, so there should be a lot more 40k than heresy. But during this transitional phase from 2nd edition to 3rd edition, I haven't got as many heresy games planned. So you don't get as much heresy. But there should be one coming out either this weekend or next weekend. So more heresy. Sounds good. Sounds good. Can't wait to read the new Istvan book soon. Which Istvan book are we talking about? Oh, you mean the Black Library one? The Drop Site Massacre one. Looking forward to that one. I did the last of the Solar War ones, the epilogue thing. That was a bit mid. There were some nice short stories in there, but it was a bit mid. The one by ADB at the end was fantastic. And John French, isn't it? Yeah, Istvan Drop Site 5. Because to actually read the Drop Site 5 bits, I mean, there's a bit in Fulgrim, there's a bit in the First Heretic, there's a bit in Vulcan Lives. You get bits. You don't get the whole thing, You don't get the whole start to end of the drop site, do you? There's no dedicated book. That actually, do you think they're going to do this more? Do you think, do you think we're going to get more individual heresy books? Like we get the drop site massacre done. We don't really need another Burning of Prospero. That's done. But you could do you could do are there any other bits? Glasses. I need glasses. My eyes. Fanto, thank you for your 3 months membership. Evening, chaps. Emperor be with you. Evening be with you. Andy H sent a gifted membership. Thank you, Andy H. Thank you for your gifted memberships. Thank you. Can we drop a GG's in the chat for Andy? Also, by the way, guys, thanks for your support. Thanks for liking, comment, sharing, subscribing, thumbing up. Thanks for your support. And if you're a member, you are awesome. You're absolutely awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. This is still going. This roller coaster is still going. We've got our hands locked on tight. We are still screaming as it goes up and down and all over the place. And here we are, riding the roller coaster. As Roland Keaton said, life is a roller coaster. Just got to ride it all night long. So that's what we're doing. And I appreciate the support. Thanks, guys. You're still here. We're still doing this. It's been 11 years and we're still here. Oh, also, on the note of support, I mentioned the Mug Club. Shout out Mug Club members. We sold 2. We're at 67 mugs. We're nearly at the magical 69 number for Mug Club. So shout out whoever bought those 2 mugs. You don't sound like Nurgle this week. Yeah, I'm a bit, I'm not as bad as I was. I'm going to have to put these on though, I think. But I'm just, the last 24, 48 hours has kind of cleared out a little bit. Still want an after-action report, style breakdown of the massacre orders of battle maps, timestamps and all that. What? Of ISFAM 5? An after-action report of ISFAM 5? That would be... I mean, it was a massacre. Here's the way to think about it. 3 whole legions, and apart from the Raven Guard, the other 2 legions were over 100,000 strong. Raven Guard landed with 97,000 troops. So you've got to assume the others are way over 100,000. And so you're looking at least 300,000 loyalists dead. And then add on top of that all the Guard and Legio Mortis, and then all the bad guys as well. 500,000 people in a day. That's a lot of killing. That's industrial scale killing. 500,000 legionaries pretty much in a day. You know how hard it is to kill 1 legionary? 500,000 of them. That's a lot of killing. But anyway, chat, how are we doing this week? Are we okay? We're good. We're good. I'm good. Are you good? We're good. Hopefully you're good too. The Tactica did a good job showing the traitors lost their pound of flesh. Yes, the traitors lost their pound of flesh. There's books like this, which does a bit on Isfahan. And books like, where's the other one? I don't know where it is. I've got the other one of these though, the drop site. Yeah, this one though is more of a... this is more of a... Can I be frank about this? Not Winters, Frank. Frank, if you're in here, quiet at the back. This, I don't want to ever tell people not to get a book, particularly if they've heard good things from their friends and stuff. And also it's quite thin, wobbly. As far as Games Workshop products go, this you don't need to sell a kidney to get. It's rather cheap. And the reason why I ended up getting it, even though I have the digital one, is because people kept banging on and on and on about all the missions in the back. So there are also missions. And they're onslaught missions. You take a line and it moves the objective. And you take another line and the objective moves backwards across the table as you advance across the table to take the objectives. And I was looking at that going, I could see problems. I mean... I'm not that convinced. I feel like this is a piece of saturnine propaganda that's been dug up by someone in the Ministorum to say, hey, look, these suits really did exist, but here's the reason why they're not that common. It's all about the armor. It's a bit of an apologist piece, I think. That's rough, isn't it? That's rough. And the missions in the back, I'm not that sold on. Has anyone else got that? Has anyone else got this and thought the missions were any good? These onslaught of missions where you take them across. I've heard people say the missions sound really good and they're really excited to get their teeth into it. And I read it again and it's not biting. It's not biting me. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. You know what I also enjoyed a lot? Blood Buffalo. Denver coming back from so far behind and winning that game. Amazing, huh? The Tactica did a good job showing off the traitors. Yeah, we saw that. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. But no, anyone else? Hi, Blood Buffalo. Welcome to the chat. Anyone else got this? Is it just me right now? Just me then. Stuart Fields, member for 23 months. Thank you for your 23 months. You absolute legend. Morning. Glad you're on the mend. Looking forward to the Terminator box pre-order this weekend, but not so much the price tag. Yeah, well, you live in Hobbiton. So over here, the Terminator box is going to be about £1,000. Down where you are, I reckon 2.3 million. It's going to be rather expensive. I just spilt water down myself. I have this drinking problem. It's fun watching what? Apologist prices kind of necessary if you want to see more 30k and 40k, more 30k and 40k. Yeah, especially with them. Yeah. I'm not so much an apologist prices as in it's just, there's something about this which is, it just smacks of propaganda. You know, when you get an expansion book, you want to be, I like the pictures, I like the maps, I like pictures and maps, I like graphs, I like all those things in my books and the artwork. I like everything I don't have to read, just all the flashy bits, and then some lovely artwork, and then some stories. But I read the stories and I read all, and I was like, there's something. I don't know. Andy H, got it, read it, didn't play the mission. See, I'm not on my own. Someone else. Andy H, thank you for 35 months. Long time, fella. That's a long time. Appreciate you. Couldn't resist. Just bought 2 more mugs. 69, baby. We're going to give you a round of applause for that one. Members of the Mug Club are up to 69, but does it count if you have 2? Because then there aren't 69 Mug Club members. Then there's 68 Mug Club members. It counts. 69 mugs are out in the world. 69, dude. Excellent. It counts. It counts as far as I'm concerned. It counts for a lot. Missions aren't Games Workshop's strongest thing these days. That's your job, Winters. I know, right? What's with all the progressive stuff? I love all the progressive stuff. There's more than, you could do the progressive, but you can also do stuff that scores at the end. You can also do attack, defect. There's lots of different missions you can play. Play 40k your way. Been playing a Lost, been 1 minute, Blood Buffalo. He's from America, bear with him. Been playing a Lost and the Damned campaign with my friend. Playing a Lost. Sorry, I'm going to have to skip that, Blood Buffalo. There's words, and sometimes they go together in orders, and then you can understand the words. And then there are words, and then they're in different orders, and you can't understand anything. Maybe someone else can read and understand that, but I can't. That's beyond me. Got to make some tea in mind. What? The word being that difficult? Yes, it's very difficult. What word? It was, what's going on? Warhammer. Sorry. Of that, what? Sorry, oi, that's for true governor. That's work. Oh, I see. Sorry, oi, that's for true governor. Cup of tea? Can't. Instead of can't. Yeah. Oi, governor. Oi, Harry Potter. Expensive petroleum. Yeah. Oh, he's a wizard, has he? Grease is the word. Grease is the word. How we doing, chat? We're good. Have we had a good week? I've had a busy week. No one asked me about how my hobbying's been going. It's been a busy week. Hello, Daily Dice. Welcome to the chat. It's been a busy week. But how's your week been? I basically, since I last saw you, every single day I played, except for Thursday. I played Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I actually filmed some of them as well. Mainly just playing for playing's sake. Where are the pint-sized Winters mugs? Need more tea. You know, you're so right. You're so right. I've did the thing and we can't find the pint-sized mugs. I don't think there are pint-sized mugs available in that store. It's just, unless you get actually the pint mug. There is a pint mug. You can get that. But big mugs, because my tea mug is a big mug. Hello, Soul Hunter. Hello, Soul Hunter. But yeah, had a busy week. Has anyone else done any hobbying? I haven't done very much hobbying. No one asked me about the hobbying. But yeah, we did some, it was busy. Sultan came round on Wednesday night and we played a game, right? How about the what? Liter-sized mugs. So the way it works is you get a store thing, being a YouTuber, and you can pick different stores. And there's only a couple of them. And then those stores handle all the things. You know, they're affiliated and they're safe because they're all integrated with the YouTube. And that's why it's stupid expensive. Because the store takes a cut, YouTube takes a cut. I get 50p at the end of it. And so there's only a selection. There's a big selection, but clearly mugs aren't up there. Stranger Come Knocking was a fun day, Saturday. Cheers for being such a gracious bastard. I was a gracious bastard on Saturday. Saturday was lovely. We need to talk about Saturday because I tried Trench Crusade. We need to talk about that, chat. Andy H is painting 10 Cataphracti very, very slowly. Well done. Good. Get them done. Build them up for your Heresy collection. 10 Cataphracti, I would have at least 6 with Power Fists and probably 4 with Axes. Just fists are always good. Or hammers, fists or hammers, doesn't matter. And if you can chuck a couple of autocannons in there as well, stick them in. Soul Hunter. Loving your bat reps, thank you. The Brapscallion bat rep was particularly awesome. It was, wasn't it? But don't tell him his head'll explode. It was a lovely, but I mean, I get to fight some awesome people like Warsmith Chris and Brapscallion and Sullivan Gilbert, and I get to fight lots of lovely people. Dark Angels Chris, you know. Loads of hobbying, says Stuart Fields, but it keeps knackering my arm, which you have in physio on. Try and paint with my left foot instead. Jackus Woods gallantly conceded a tabling from Saltwan at the weekend. Grey Knights versus Crown. So, Jackus Woods, you bought that Kroot list to play Sultan, and he bought Grey Knights with all the Stormbolters, which would just murder little Kroot, and then in close combat he's got all the power weapons. That would just be... It's not a good matchup. Well, also, your list, your Kroot list, by the way, that's Tau on hard mode. Kroot everywhere with some guns. Peter Daly's been a member for 32 months. He is a legend. GG's to you, my fellow. Would like to see some Custodies get access to Saturn. Would I like to see Custodies get access to Saturnine armor? The Telemon almost looks like it was based on the design. No. So law. Here's a good answer. I'll read all the rest in a minute. So before the Emperor went to Mars and got involved with all the Martian stuff, he had his own forges. They have their own thing on Terra. They have their own, not tech priests, but engineers and all that sort of stuff. When he got involved with Mars, obviously the engineers come over, start helping out all the Dominuses and things like that. But there's a nice bit in Master of Mankind book where they're in a laboratory, and he's like, "Where's all the incense? Where's all the tech priests?" And it's like, we don't have any. There's none here. And it's just a short sentence or two. And you're like, oh yeah, of course. They're in a massive workshop somewhere on Terra in one of their forges, and there's no, Shabai, none of that stuff, It's just, hello, thingy, but none of that. They made it themselves. And so, because the Emperor's power armor and Leviathan dreadnoughts, they come from the forges of Terra, and all the stuff that he made from the Custodies and all the stuff, he's a scientist. All the things that he made, he didn't need the Mechanicum to help with. And the Saturnine Terminator plate comes from the Phoebian cults, which were a part of the Martian Mechanicum that during the Age of Strife were exiled. They're not part of the Martian Mechanicum. They were part of ancient Mars before the Mechanicum came around, that were exiled from Mars to the moon of Phoebe on Saturn, and that's where they hang out. And then you have the Age of Strife and blah. And then now there's a bit in this book which says that the Master of Mankind went there in secret, even before he met the Martians, to say, hey, and get the Phoebians, Phoebe or Chandler or Joey. He got one of them on side with him to help him make some shizzle long before he got involved with the Mechanicum stuff. So he's got his own stuff on Terra, and he's got his own stuff on some moons floating around Saturn, and he's got his fingers in lots of different pies because he likes pie. And that's how that works. And so they getting involved with I like the division. I like the fact that Mars is doing the Mars things, and Phoebe and Chandler and Joey are hanging out in New York and doing their things. And then the Leviathan Dreadnought is only comes out of the Forges of Terror and the Custodes. I like the fact that there's different islands of bits and things going on all over because that's more realistic, right? Like one is over there doing Apple things, one is over there doing Tesla things, one is over there doing Blue Skies things, one is over there making, I don't know, Monopoly, so they can all play Monopoly, because Monopoly has been around forever and it will probably still be around in the 41st millennium, because, you know, Monopoly. So yeah, it's let them have their own. And then they've got their own origins and ways they can go and ways they can go wrong. And yeah, that's what I think. So the Saturnine stuff across the Custodes, I think the Custodes are going to get a big update because of the King in Yellow. Because the Custodes, the Games Workshop, I'll stop this rant in a minute. Games Workshop are desperately trying to pull apart the Heresy and the 40k community. So if you buy stuff for Heresy, it can't be used in 40k, and if you buy stuff for 40k, it can't be used in Heresy. There is some overlap one way because of Legends units and Legacy units, and that overlap will be there for some extent, but you have to know about the hobby to dig into the hobby to find the overlap and know about it to get to the But little Timmy walking in off the store, off the store, he doesn't know about Warhammer community or Legacy units or all of those things, and he wants to play that game, and he buys the boxes for that game. He wants to play AOS, he buys the boxes for that game. He wants to play Heresy, he buys the boxes for that game. And Custodes is one of those weird ones that sits between the both. And I think there's going to be some big changes coming with the Custodes. So in the future, there'll be a clear Custodes range for Heresy, and it will probably be the Legacy models that we're used to, like the drop pod. The old drop pod has just shifted. Still exists, the old drop pod, but it's now in Heresy. Whereas the new drop pod comes in a 2-pack, and it's a terrain piece, and it's different, and it's in the... So they've got 2 models for drop pods, but they're for 2. So I can see the Custodes having their own shizzle, and it'll be their own... The old stuff will be mainly... Yeah, and I can see lots of new Custodes coming for 40k at some point down the line, probably connected to the King in Yellow and 40k, 40 years of 40k next year, probably. I can eventually, whether it's next year or 5 years time, but there'll be 2 different Custodes ranges, just like there's multiple Space Marine ranges and Terminators and Cataphracti and Contemptor Dreadnoughts and Leviathan Dreadnoughts and Redemptor Dreadnoughts, and then Eradicators and Hellblasters and Veteran Squads and Land Speeders and Javelins, and that's where we're going. That's where they want it to be. In the midst of all that, we have a donation, the first donation of the evening. Can we get some GGs in the chat for Soul Hunter, please? It's a £5 donation. Thank you very much. What do you think about Trench Crusade Winters? I love it personally and very easy to pick up for my smooth brain. Yes, so your boy wants to get into Trench Crusade. And I know that there's quite a bit of it online now. So when I first tried to have a look, there wasn't that much. But now they've grown. There's more factions, there's more lore, there's more artwork, there's quite a lot out there. But your boy needs a book. Okay? I'm an analog person living in a digital world. I need something in my hand so I can read it and study it and take it to bed with me and in the bath with me and for a poo while I'm sat there just leafing through the pages, you know? Because who goes to the toilet without a book or a mobile phone? What are you going to do? Sit there and count the tiles like you're in the 1980s or something, like a madman? No. You need something, a book or a phone or something. You never poo alone. We used to, but not anymore. And so I need the book. And once I've got the book in my hands, which I think is coming out in November for all the backers, and so shortly after that, a month or 2 after that, it'll come out for everyone else. Then I can read it, then I can get into it. So what do I think of it? Trench Crusade. For those that don't know, Trench Crusade is built and designed from the ground up by the people who built Games Workshop. By the designers that built the games that we play from Games Workshop. Thomas Prunin, I don't know how to say his name. Mordenheim, also Warhammer Fantasy Battles guy. There's the OG rules writers for Warhammer Fantasy, for Warhammer 40k, and codexes and things, and some of the earlier games, and OG artists who have left Games Workshop many, many years ago and retired and got bored. And while they were out drinking and playing golf or doing what they do, they decided to chat to each other and say, hey, let's make another game. So they have made another game called Trench Crusade, which is a kind of like an open source game, as in the rules and the things you need to play it are online and you can get them for free. And the models, it's also designed from the ground up. So if you want to build and convert and make your own models to play it, you can. Yes, there are some official models that are sold through STL files or some site which match the artwork in the books, but you can also just create your own stuff. So the idea is it's a bunch of games designers making a game for the community by the community, so that anyone who likes war games can just play it, pick it up and play it, and convert and build and do what they want. And if you want to stick to the script, you can get the book, which I need. You can get some of the miniatures, which I know. And the other thing about that's the idea behind it. So OG, stamp of approval, rules writers, games designers, yes, very interested in that. Another reason why I'm very interested in it is because they're all Games Workshop OG people. It's very grim dark. It's set in an alternative timeline of history where a hellmouth has erupted on Earth 1,000 years ago, and so it's basically trenches. It's basically First, Second World War fighting in trenches with a bunch of religious holy nut jobs against chaos and demons. Stop me if this sounds familiar, but it's set on Earth. And you can take a train from London to Dover. You can walk across Europe. The center of this demonic infestation is Jerusalem. There are people coming from the east, and they want to slay the demons. People come, and it's one big World War I demons Hellraiser on Earth versus a bunch of religious nutjobs trying to kill it. And there's even superhumans. There's these 20-foot tall or 20-meter tall descendants of genetically engineered super soldiers. Stop me if you've heard this one, but the genetically engineered super soldiers that have got a little bit of Jesus's gene in them, and now they're 20 meters tall or 20 feet tall, and they go charging into hell, actually in there to beat. It's over the top, crazy, alternative. What if hell on earth was happening right now? And it's all trenches and things. So there's two reasons to like the game right there. Grimdark as you like. Written and built and artworked from the ground up from the old OG Games Workshop lot. And then here's another reason why to like it. Because you can play it with 6 to 15 miniatures. It is a skirmish-sized game at the moment. It might grow. But it's a skirmish-sized game. And all the missions, they've got trench missions, they've got storm a beach mission, they've got, we talked at the start of the stream, hey, Games Workshop, missions, yeah. There's no shortage of missions. In the Games Workshop 10th edition rulebook, there is one mission. In the Horus Heresy 3.0 rulebook, there is 3 missions. What the hell is going on there? There needs to be many missions, many ways to play, more Warhammer, more often. So there's loads of different missions, loads of different ways to play it. And another reason to play it is they really leaned into the campaign side of things. So you're playing with your 8, 9, 10, 12 dudes, and each if you lean into the campaign side of things, someone could level up a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit. They want you to tell stories. It's written from the ground up to follow characters through a couple of fights. It's written so you can tell your own stories and play war games with friends. It's narrative, silly, over the top, grimdark, horror. It's everything that made 40k what 40k is now, from the minds that brought you 40k. And then I got to play it for the first time, and the system's very simple. A very simple system. Basically, it's 2 dice, and you're looking for 7s most of the time. A 7 means you roll 2 dice, and if you get a 7, you achieve it. And then there's obviously modifiers to the number of dice you roll, whether you're negating, whether you're plussing, and you activate a miniature and it does its thing, and then your opponent activates a miniature and does its thing, then you activate a miniature and does its thing, and then so that you go I go system allows, it's a bit like Mechanicus or Mordheim in that sense, or Titanicus, sorry. It allows for some tactical options which you don't get if you have a your turn, my turn system. There's lots of different war game systems, and but some have you go I go, so you have your, but this one has you, and it works. It's relatively simple, and it tells stories. So played a game, stranger come knocking, and his friend Rob came down, and we set it up and played a game, and we played a 3-way, and there was a couple of stories. You could see the dice telling story. You could see the story evolving. This guy jumped up the side of the thing, slaughtered this guy on the other thing, jumped down and managed to engage a second guy and have a go at him as well. You can see these things happening as you play the game. So yeah, that's Trench Crusade. I gave it a go. Very much enjoyed it. It's one of those games that I'm very interested in learning and discovering and practicing and seeing if I can film some of it and bring it to YouTube at some point. I mean, the channel has always been about me sharing my hobby journey with you guys, and this is my hobby. These are the games I play. This is the thing I'm painting. This is the book I'm reading. This is what we're doing right now. And for some reason, I'm still going after many, many years, so thank you so much for joining me on this hobby journey. And my hobby journey might take a slight detour for a bit into Trench, while I'm still doing the other hobbies, while I'm still doing 40k and Heresy and all the... But my hobby funny bone is... I'm being tempted, Frodo. Tempted to try this Trench Crusade stuff. And if it is something that is filmable, I'll share it with you guys. If it's not really that filmable, doesn't translate very well, I won't. Like, I tried to do a few Blood Bowls, but they don't film, with my style anyway, don't film that well. The Necromunda that I did, that was hard to film. So you gotta, with my, something to look at, something to think about, something to look at. That's where we are. That was a long rant on Trench Crusade. Let's lock in. Let's jump back into the chat. Thank you, Jim, anyway, for coming down. It was bloody amazing. Bloody amazing. I'm very interested. Would you guys be interested in seeing some Trench Crusade? We're talking like a year, 6 months. We're talking a long time away. Because first I need to read it. Then I need to study it. Then I need to play it a bunch of times. Then I need to get some miniatures for it and make it. It's a whole process to get it to a point where I'd be comfortable enough to show it to you. But would you be interested in seeing something like that? I don't know. Or is it just 40k Heresy, Warhammer stuff? That's fine. It's honest opinion, honest question. I don't like Trench Crusade, but you do. Thank you, definitely not a gator. 12 months. Thank you for being around for 12 months. Appreciate you. I mean, I don't know if I like it yet. I mean, I like war games. I like little men and dice and things. This is what I like. It's like I got asked the other day about Heresy 3.0 and I was like, yeah, but I'm throwing dice and having fun. And I like Heresy 3.0. Do I like it better than 2.0? No. But do I like Heresy 3.0? Yeah. It's war games, throwing dice, having fun. I like war games. Yes, do Trench Crusade. Do some Trench Crusade back rip. We are ready. Go for it. Tabletop Titans did an incredible narrative campaign that is definitely worth checking out for Trench Crusade inspiration. Thank you. If you get into it, I might actually paint the Trench Crusade minis I've printed, says Just Craig. I'll check that out, Stuart. Thanks. No idea what that is. Heresy first, then the lesser games like 40k or Trench Crusade. Heresy first, then the lesser games. Space Hulk, rumors that Space Hulk's coming out. Oh, I've said it for years now. If Space Hulk comes out, I'm filming that. That's going up. Because, again, share my hobby journey with you guys. That's what we've been doing for 11 years. Sharing all over the internet. And Crusade was no what was I saying? Space Hulk was one of those games that I really invested a lot of time in back in the day. I forget what was the last edition I stopped playing. When I stopped playing it, it was around 4th, but was one of those that I've been hankering for some time now. So if they do release Space Hulk, I'm going to learn that. I'm going to play that. We're going to film some of that and get some of that on the channel, because what will be happening behind the scenes is I'll be playing a lot of it anyway. So I'll share it with you. Like this week, played 5 games since last Tuesday. 6, actually. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, Thursday was the only day where I didn't play last week. And I think I filmed 2 of them last week. Out of those, yeah, I filmed 2. So I need to film more of my hobby journey, particularly if I do Space Hulk. Our game of 3.0 was fun yesterday. Yeah, Sam Nash is in the chat. Been a member for 45 months. I think that's all the months, Sam. You are absolute legend. Yeah, we had a good game. We had a 4,000 point game of Horus Heresy yesterday. Again, didn't film that one. Should have filmed it because it was really close. Sam's got like salamanders. And I ran Emperor's Children with some World Eater help. And I think it came down to a dice roll, didn't it? It came down to a dice roll to whether it be a draw or a victory. And people say Heresy 3.0 is... When I start playing Heresy 3.0, it could get really squiffed, like 5 points to 30 and 10 points to 50. It could get really squiffy because of the sequential scoring. When the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games were like, this is over in 2 turns, this is over in 3 turns, what's going on? This is wrong, these missions are terrible. Why are we ending after a couple of hours? And now, when I play Heresy 3.0 with people who have played Heresy 3.0 and know the crack, now most of the games, are much, much closer. And the 4,000 point game we played yesterday came down to a dice roll. It was a glorious game. Thanks for coming around. I should have filmed it. I'm currently enjoying your 30k stuff the most. Thank you, Kurt. I appreciate you. The original Space Hulk PC game was my first 40k game. Dude, I think it was my first 40k game as well. The top-down one where it went into the sound of the Terminators trying to go around corners when they couldn't. It was like, you remember when Grand Theft Auto was top-down? It was literally a top-down, dude. The first 40k game, and you heard bolters for the first time, and the sound of Gene Stealers it was a good game. It was good. Hi, Sullivan Gilbert. I'd love a new Space Hulk. It's been 20 years since the last... Has it been 20 years since the last edition of Space Hulk? Why don't they just release another Space Hulk? I mean, they do what? What is it? They do some games. Like, they do Blood Bowl. That's a board game, right? They do Blood Bowl. Is Mordheim still around, or have they cancelled that? Dark City and Blackstone Fortress. Games Workshop make board games still, right? Am I chatting shit? Chat? Chat. Is there board games that they still sell? Is there? Because Space Hulk is a board game. It's the tiles you change in different configurations, but it's tiles. It's with miniatures. It's a board game. Do they make them? Have they just stopped making board games now? I mean, they stopped making Talisman a long time ago. That's at Fantasy Flight, and Talisman's the best board game I ever played. No games yet for me in October. Getting withdrawal symptoms. 2K of Horus Heresy on Thursday. Wardy is nice. That should be nice. There you go. See, you haven't had a game in October, and you'll get a game in then. Also, remember when they released Tyranid Attack, the Space Hulk style Marine Scouts did what? Yeah. Tyranid Attack was not. They also, after Space Hulk came out, way back in the day, we're talking 80s now, there was a White Dwarf release. So you could play normal Marines instead of Terminator armor. Normal Marines in your Space Hulk. So it's like an add-on pack. So you bought Space Hulk, you played the crap out of that, and it's like, oh, I wonder how normal Marines would do. So you got your normal Marines, you put them in there, and not well as the answer. The normal Marines got pooned. I mean, Space Hulk is hard mode as it is, but to win as a Marine, and I like that, by the way. It was always a struggle to actually win, which is good. It should be good. But with normal dudes, it was impossible. Who is messaging me? I'm at work. The boys. The boys are messaging. What are they messaging about? They want to play Space Marine 2. They know I can't play Space Marine 2. I am at work. Guys, do they sell board games still? Games Workshop? Any board games? Can someone check? Like Dark City? Anything? Or is that... Do we think that they're just not going to release Space Hulk? Because if they stop doing board games, then we're never going to see a Space Hulk, are we? We're not going to see one. Leo15, hello. What are we talking about? We're asking, Leo, whether Games Workshop make board games still. And if they do, whether we think we'll see a Space Hulk. New Warhammer Quest is incoming. Dude. Yeah, they just announced a new AOS one. Board game. Okay, so they still are doing board games. So we still might get a Space Hulk. Warhammer Quest back in the day was fire. Whether... Because which one was they released and they sort of... It went off the rails a little bit. Newer Warhammer Quest board game coming on the Warcom page today. All right, okay. So yeah, we'll see what they do. That'd be interesting. That could be interesting. Warhammer Quest board game. That could be very interesting to play. Anyone interested in the Warhammer Quest board game? Like the OG one was good, but I think when Warhammer Quest first came out, it was also one of the first Games Workshop games that they tried pushing in normal stores like Toys R Us's and Asda and places like that. So it wasn't just available in Games Workshop, it was available in lots of places. So, and then they did like updates and re-releases and and after, within a couple of years, it went a bit funny. There's 40k Monopoly, that counts. 40k Monopoly definitely does count. It definitely counts, chat. That is a board game with 40k on it. It counts. Yeah. So yeah, busy week for me last week. I got to do some Trench Crusade. Thank you for that coming round. Stranger Come Knocking. That was amazing. Thank you, Sam Nash, for coming around yesterday and playing that. It was a 4,000 point game. That was amazing. But and I've got a busy one this week as well. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'm playing. So I've got tomorrow off. But no. Of the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I might actually film 2 of them as well. I say tomorrow. I just love wargaming, man. Leo, I'm new to Warhammer because of Space Marine 2. Space Marine 2 is good. Started learning the lore and reading the novels. You're at the beginning of Horus Rising. I was there the day Horus killed the Emperor. welcome to the party, pal. It's a long, long journey. Yeah, just dive in. When it comes to law, if you're at the start, there is no real starting place. You can start at the Horus Heresy and do all of it, or you can do the first 4 books. If you're doing the Horus Heresy, do at least the first 4 books before you stop. And then you can jump to the end, or you can do some in the middle and jump to the end, or you can do the whole lot, take you about 4 years. Or you could just finish the first 4 and then jump somewhere else, or do some Eisenhorn, do some Gaunt's Ghost, do something else. But yeah, welcome. There's Luton 09 as well for all your lore needs. There's a lot of AI lore channels on YouTube all of a sudden. I mean, a lot. So yeah, try and stick to the ones where there's actually people on, like Luton. Underworlds. Fantasy game is a board game. Right, 40k Monopoly. If the banker guy isn't done up as the Emperor, it's heresy. Yeah, man. Just Craig's coming on Friday. I don't think my list is great, but it looks fun. We're doing 4k, I think, on Friday with your list. I've got an Emperor's Children bug at the moment, so I'll probably run Emperor's Children against you. And then when Sam comes round again in a couple of weeks after that, I'll probably run Emperor's Children against him as well. Something about the Emperor's Children. They're undefeated in 40k, so I'm determined to make them undefeated in 30k as well. Emperor's Children bug right now. Where's this week's videos? Winters, what are? This week, so tomorrow there is a 3,000 point. So Steve, not Rob. People kept poking him, like, when are you going to bring your Tyranids? When is High Fleet Blizzard coming back? So he turned up and said, I brought High Fleet Blizzard back. And I'm like, oh, I thought we were playing Heresy today. He said, no, High Fleet Blizzard 40k, let's go. And so I threw my Necrons at him because I thought, let's not have a touch of power arm in sight. Let's just go Xenos and Xenos. That way the Imperium win no matter what. Because being a good Imperial player at heart and never touching Emperor's Children or Death Guard in my life, only ever playing with Imperial armies, I thought, let's do Xenos and Xenos action. So that one's coming out tomorrow. I don't know what's coming out on Sunday at this time. It could be... I was kind of... Because there hasn't been any heresy on the main stage for a while. So Craig is coming over on Friday, and I was thinking about editing the Friday's heresy video for Sunday after Craig leaves. I was thinking about that, but I'll probably edit another video for Sunday just in case I'm shagged after the Friday thing. Plus I'm playing again on Saturday and Sunday, so we'll see. 40k. I'm bringing my... Yeah, Craig, I know you're bringing your Ultramarines. I don't know if Emperor's Children versus Ultramarines is the play, though. I mean, when did they actually touch tips? In the Heresy, Emperor's Children and Ultramarines. But I got an Emperor's Children bug. So it might just be them anyway. Guys, is there any time when the Emperor's Children and the Ultramarines officially clashed, went at it in Heresy? I'm asking for a friend. Leo, want to ask about audiobook. I heard some previous, especially Conrad Kurz with a Russian accent. It's quite funny. Yeah, so audiobooks. You can read the Heresy, or you can read 40k Heresy book. You can read books or audio them. Okay? Having read many and audioed many, I can tell you that both have their qualities. There's something about reading a book which gets you more invested and pulls you in deeper, and there's a level of immersion that happens when you read a book, which you don't quite get with an audiobook. But if you do audios, there are good narrators and bad narrators, or good narrators and average narrators. And the difference between a good narrator and average... A normal narrator who's reading a book sounds like someone who's reading a book. Now, they're paid to read books and they read it to you really, really well. But a good narrator, like Toby Longworth and Jonathan Keeble, sound like they're telling you a story. So if you have a good audio book, narrated to you by someone who's telling you this story, there's a whole other level of immersion that you get from that, which you don't get from reading the book. So books are better and audiobooks are better. They're both better at a thing than the other one is. Now, audiobooks are also really, really good for painting projects, like slapping down some audiobooks on you go while you're painting away. And some narrators do curs and things with funny vampiric accents. Some of the Gaunt's Ghost characters are all Celtic, apparently. John Grammaticus is slightly American. There's some weird choices that happen. But you just got to go with it. You got to go with it and enjoy it for what it is. Unless it's a silent sister breaking her vow, holding her head up, shouting, "Look at me," in a Geordie accent. Then you're like, screw this. But apart from that, you just go with it and enjoy it. And but if you want material for painting projects with, battle reports from Winter's SEO are the best. Second best, audiobooks. Winters, says Just Craig. If Eternal Crusader is correct, I can rejig my list to bring Gilliman. I'm not currently. Don't bring Primax yet. No, Just Craig. No. Back in the box. Eternal Crusader, don't listen to him. He's been sent back to the back of the class about 1,000 times, okay? He's the red-headed stepchild of the whole chat, Eternal Crusader. Don't take any advice from him. Before you know it, you'll be skydiving naked somewhere with just skis on your foot out of a plane. So he said, hey, let's do this idea. Let's free dive out of a plane with skis on our feet, naked, land on Mount Blanc, and then ski to the bottom. Which sounds like a really crazy, wild idea and someone's idea of a nice Tuesday. But you're meeting two veg, you're going to get a little bit frozen. They might not forgive you. That's the kind of shenanigans Eternal Crusader will get you involved with. So don't listen to him. No Primarchs, no capes at this stage. We'll play some Ultramarines first, Just Craig. So you get it down and I get it down and we know where we are. And then we'll put our big daddies down. Then we'll put our Primarchs down. Eternal Crusader, what's that? I've never even mentioned the Forbidden Substance today. The fuck? Eternal Crusader. He's simmering. He might pop. You're doing well, though. You're doing well. That's funny. I'm painting some capes as we speak. No capes! And no helmets for sergeants, because that way they can shout when they got their helmet off. No, you won't get the Geordie accent, Leo. That's a very specific thing. You won't get the listen to the first 4 books of the Horus Heresy. Make sure you do all 3 of them plus Flight of the Eisenstein. You'll love them. And then get back to me on a Talkie Tuesday, and I'll give you some more. If you want to keep going in the Heresy, keep going with it. If you don't. Yeah. There was lots more chat that I missed. Chat. I'm sorry. We ranted a bit. We ranted. Are we hydrated, guys? Is everyone hydrated? Are we okay? Are we locked in? I hope we're okay. Now, I'm going to open up the chat in a minute, but there's something I want to talk about. Okay? I've just literally finished Deliverance by Gab Thorpe on audio. Really enjoyed it. Yeah. Deliverance. If you like your Raven Guard, you'll love those books. And I like my Raven Guard, so I really like those books. Now listen. This is important, chat. You know this channel is about hobbying, right? And we do not mention politics, religions, or cultural topics. We do not touch cultural topics on this channel. I'm here to entertain. I'm here to be entertained. We're here to entertain each other and talk about little toy soldiers. But I have to touch it. Something has happened that is of such significant cultural impact. We need to talk about cultural issues, okay? So this is the first and last time on a live stream we'll talk about culture issues, because the world right now is a bit fucked up. There's all sorts of changes. There's lots of horrible things out there. So for this time only, we're going to talk about cultural issues. And strap in. But according to the news on the BBC today, penguins and club biscuits are no longer classified as chocolate after rising cocoa prices led the makers to switch to other ingredients. Club bars had previously marketed under the slogan, "If you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, join our club." But both treats are now described as chocolate flavour because the amount of cocoa they contain has been reduced by the owner, Pladis, to find cheaper alternatives to the main ingredient in chocolate. The UK sources cocoa beans from West Africa and poor harvests as a result of severe drought conditions in the cocoa-producing countries such as Ivory Coast and Ghana have led to restricted supplies and higher prices. This change to the bar's ingredients was first reported by the trade journal The Grocer, and has since been reported in full, major headline by the BBC today. Penguin biscuits are no longer chocolate biscuits. They're chocolate flavoured biscuits. And I don't know how we can go on with it. I don't know. The world is in flames, ladies and gentlemen. The world is in flames. Pluto is a dog. Aldi ones are better. Not the Chocolopolis apocalypse. Literally everything gets worse with no exceptions. What has the world come to? Best just go for the jammy dodgers. You can have jammy dodgers and penguins. Jammy dodgers are nice though. Invade the penguin factory. Rush Area 51. Do you remember that? Our food supply is a mess. Dude, penguins are no longer chocolate biscuits. As Tolkien said, you fade into time until all the world has changed. I don't think we can recover from this one, boys. Tim Tams all the way. I tried Tim Tams, Stuart Field. You guys were banging on about Tim Tams. I googled the bloody Tim Tams, okay? I found out they looked penguinish. And then some generous mushroom, I forget who it was, shout out you by the way, turned up here with some Tim Tam once. And now, they could have been an international guest, or they could have lived somewhere really swanky, like London or something, and brought it from there. But it was a pack of Tim Tams, and I tried the Tim Tams, okay? And I'll let you know. Tim Tams are mid. Tim Tams are mid. There are penguins, and then there are Tim Tams. They look the same. They're about the same shape. They might be made of roughly the same things. But penguins S tier. Tim Tams just mid. And in those countries out there where you can't get the hallowed penguin, where you have to get the Tim Tams, I would call the UN, basically. It's a war crime. Something needs to be done about it. But allegedly now penguins, though, might be mid because they're no longer a chocolate biscuit. What's the world become? I agree with fucked. Nice. This makes me really sad. The end of the death is upon us. Sorry, I've got to unsubscribe after that comment. It's been a good year. I know, guys. I shouldn't have thrown we can't. This is why we stay away from political, religious and cultural things, because it's just depressing. As soon as you start talking about any of that stuff, you just want a warm cup of tea and a quiet corner to go and curl up in and cry. Did you just fart? That was disgusting, and it wasn't me. cat farts, they're like little gas grenades. They don't linger like a dog fart in the air for like hours, or, you know, your mates. They're like, and then it's gone. So you get this whiff of like, ooh, that was a bit violent, and then it's gone. So it's gone already, but it came over like that. And he's acting all nonchalant about it, like it wasn't him, but it wasn't me. Aren't Tim Dams from Oz? I thought they were Canadian land. Tim Dams were Canadian land or something. Damn, you said we're fucked, and maybe you crashed with an error. What? I don't know what that's. Anyway, so yeah, cultural stuff. I had to share that. Sorry about him. Okay, are we okay, guys? We're still here. Is everyone still here? Apart from definitely not Gator, who's just unsubscribed. But we're good. We're good. Anyway. What else? Oh yes, I'm supposed to be filming an STC tomorrow night with Warsmith Chris, but he's cancelled again, which is rather common. Any model updates? I said at the beginning of the stream, don't ask me about models and hobby updates. It's been a rough one. It's been a rough one, guys. It's been a rough one. We'll get back to it, but it's like the last week was busy. This week is busy. It's got nothing to do with Battlefield 6. Don't ask me about the model updates. Anyway, Warsmith Chris. Like the stream. Thank you, Just Craig. Like the stream. Thumbs up. Like things. I want a cuppa and a double coat Tim Tam so badly now. Drink the tea through the Tim Tam Tam. Stuart, you would know this. You're from Hobbiton. Are Tim Tams from the land down under? Are they from your neck of the woods over there? Or I thought they were Canadian land stuff. Let me know. Yes. So Warsmith Chris was supposed to come round. No, not come round. We're supposed to do an STC tomorrow night. And we've got some ideas. Well, I had an idea about the topic that I want to have a chinwag with him about. And I need some ideas because my ideas might be shite. What are the pictures behind you? These are book art from the Black Library. That is Flight of the Eisenstein. That is Horus Rising. That is Angel Exterminatus. I think that one's Galaxy in Flames and that one's Master of Mankind. You get limited edition print runs from Games Workshop on there. If you go to Games Workshop website and then click on the Black Library or books, I think Black Library is still a thing. Just Google Black Library, go to Black Library, it's in there. They're numbered, they're limited of 100, I think. And they're not cheap, but patrons paid for them. Patrons said, yeah, it was good. You can also support me by becoming a patron. But that's what they are. Discuss the possible contents of the 11th edition box. Yeah, but we don't know the contents of the 11th edition box. So, like, it's a nice idea at Eternal Crusader for an STC topic. A good idea for an Eternal... it would be like something we knew as opposed to something we don't. Models and book. I don't know what the models will be and the book will be, though. So it's like, hey, do you think the models and book might be this? And then he'll say, no. And that's the end. STC, guys, thanks for watching. I mean, I don't know how you discuss something that doesn't exist. But thanks for the idea. Another idea. Just not want to shit, guys. If you've got any ones. Like, I've got a couple of ideas, but Eternal Crusader is, quite frankly, letting the side down again. Hey up, just arrived. Hi, Adam Sand. Sven, what changes would you like to see to core strats for 11th? Did we do an 11th one? That's an interesting one, you see. What would I like to see? Course, see, that's specific. I'm going to write that one down. I can tell you're Mr. Axefist, you see. I can tell that you're old and wise, slightly dusty, smelly. Like Gandalf. But core strats for 11th. I'm write that down. Because I'll let you know. Even if that isn't an STC title, that could definitely be a live stream title. Core strats for 11th edition is a good one. Anyone got any ideas about what should be a core strat for 11th edition? I've got one. The ability for commanders, when they epic heroes or things, HQs, when their unit dies to join another unit, which is the same as the one of the units they're allowed to join. So they're not just stuck on their own. Surely 11th will be Reeboks with 4th or something. Reebok. There must be recycling rules by now. You'd think, right? You'd think they get to a point like, we've come all the way around. Let's go back to that one. Let's just refresh that again. You know? You'd think they get there. But, I don't know. They seem to come up with new and terrifying. Like the Horus Heresy 3.0 terrain rules, which are, quite frankly, the worst terrain rules I've ever read. Games Workshop have got so much experience when it comes to writing terrain rules across many different systems for many different games for many different years for decades. Decades of terrain rules writing in-house that they could draw from, pull from, talk to someone about. And instead, somehow, they managed to create the shittest terrain rules. It's like, maybe they went round in the house in Games Workshop like, right, what are your terrain rules? No. What were the terrain rules 20 years ago for this system? No. What were they tried to figure out all the terrain rules for all the other systems and all the other games that have ever been invented by Games Workshop for the last 40 years, and it left them with a tiny, narrow subset of shit that no one had ever tried before because they were shit. And they went, well, those rules have never been tried before. Let's try them. I think that's literally why the terrain rules for 3.0 ended up being the terrain points for 3.0, because it was the leftover crap that no one had, and that's what we got stuck with, which is why they get house ruled straight away in all games, in all systems, all the time, for everyone, everywhere. I mean, house ruling is a thing in Heresy. It was with Contemptors. It was with Artificer Armor. It was a thing that you had to do for things, for bits. But for the entire terrain rules is a bit. Every game, before you start every game of Horus Heresy, you need to have an opponent. You need to have a conversation with your opponent. Like, here's the thing. Here's my army. And on top of all the normal stuff, you have to say, right, what are we doing about terrain? It's that bad. Imagine starting every game of Warhammer 40k, and I mean literally every single game of Warhammer 40k you ever play again. Okay, what are we going to do about these terrain? So that's where we are. Where's the spreadsheet that contains all? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you get amazing writing the worst terrain rules? Games Workshop. It's a skill. It's a skill to make terrain rules that bad. It is. It takes. Hi, Hendrik. Winters, do you have a Reboot Gulliman? Would you run him with the 13th? What's your thought? It's either way. I did have Reboot Gulliman, but I gave him away to Sultan to add to his Ultramarines. So I can't think of a narrative reason why he would run with the 13th. Because we kind of do our own thing. We will add that as a bad rule, along with roll the mission, then you write your lists. Where do you think people? Yeah. So there are. I played a couple of games of Heresy, because what you're supposed to do in Heresy 3.0 is tailor your list to the mission, which is weird. Originally, it's weird. Because normally you just bring a list, you rock up to a game and and then you figure out what you're playing, and your list needs to be more of an all-comers thing, right? That's what it is for most systems. My list is going to be okay if I run against knights or if I run against little things. And it's going to be okay if I need to do catch and ferry missions, catch and capture missions, or if I need to hold back defensive. You need to build a list that can do things. And that works. And anyway, Heresy 3.0, you're supposed to design your list after you figure out what the mission is. I played 2 or 3 games now, where we've done the lists after we knew what mission it is. And it kind of works. It kind of works. If you both do it, if you both know what the mission is, you both know what the table setup is, you take a look and you're like, okay, now it kind of works. It does work. It doesn't kind of work, it does work. That system works so long as you're both okay with it. And then you're okay, I know what I'm playing, I know what I'm doing, let's go. It works. It's fine. It works. Does it make the game any better? It doesn't make the game any better or worse. It doesn't make the game any different. It makes it a lot more sweaty. It makes it more sweaty. That's what it does. Yeah. I think it's nicer not to know, because then you've got to adapt on the fly. Like war. First plan. War never survives first plan with the enemy. That one, contact with the enemy. That quote. We will add that as a bad rule. Okay. It's so simple. True line of sight. I know, right? True line of sight. Yeah. Well, you're talking about -1 AP and +1 AP and things like that, Stuart Fields, but true line of sight in Heresy works, and true line of sight in 40k works. The reason why they brought up a load of rules in 40k with terrain blocking stuff is because a lot of people have terrain with windows in. A lot of people don't have great terrain. Particularly if you're new and you're little Timmy. You're little Timmy, you bought the box, you smack some stuff together, off you go. Yeah, I don't have any terrain. You probably don't even have a friend. You might have some CD cases. Do the kids have CD cases these days? They don't have CD cases. I don't know. They'll have like a Rice Krispies carton and a pint of milk or something. That's the terrain on the table, and an apple. And that'll be... So a lot of people, you need the terrain, and getting the terrain is something no one tells you when you get the game. You get the game and you go, oh, I need terrain as well. Damn it, I need a friend as well in order to play this. I don't have any friends. How am I going to find a friend? I'll start a YouTube channel and then people will... yeah, terrain, important. So a lot of people don't have great terrain. So that's why those rules exist about blocking stuff to help them. And you know what I say about that? Screw those people. Get decent terrain. Buy some terrain. Make some terrain. Get some terrain. Get some birthday cards. All 40k is now. 40k is a bunch of birthday cards opened like that, right? L-shaped ruins all over. Get some birthday cards. Put them down everywhere. That'll do you. And then you've got line of sight blocking because you can't see through the card. And then, yeah. Line of sight, true line of sight. In a war game, get down and have a look. Something immersive as well. Like even playing bolt action or something like that. Or conflict night. And getting down and having a look. It's something... it just, I mean, you know, it gets me excited. Getting down and having a look and seeing what the models see across the battlefield with some nice terrain, it makes my nipples hard. It really does. It does. Particularly the left one. How are we doing, chat? Anyway, we okay? We're good? We're good. Are our nipples hard? Are we good? Are you allowed to say that on YouTube? Have I said everything? Had a busy week. The Penguins thing. STC ideas. We had one STC idea. Core strats for the 13th. That's for the 11th edition. That's a good one. Yeah. Any more? Erebus made me important. Do you think 40k will ever have alternative activations? No. I don't think it'll be. It's never been a Yugo-Igo system. And Games Workshop make many other games which are a Yugo-Igo system. So there are games... Yeah. It's a your turn, I turn system. And it's always been that way. And it's not like Games Workshop are saying, we're only going to ever have your turn, my turn, your turn, my... They don't say that. They say, here are all the other games where if you want Yugo-Igo system, they exist. They're out there. And we sell them too. So, yes. I've tried there was a time, have I talked about this on stream yet? There's a whole thing where we tried doing you go, I go, I do a thing, you do a thing, I do a thing, you do a thing, I do a thing for 40k, and it doesn't quite work for 40k. Here's the reason why. If you do it at skirmish size, it's fine. Or if you do it at combat patrol size, it can be fine. But once you get up to 2,000 points, there's a lot of stuff going on. And you want to be able to push, deep strike, move, set a trap in one hit for your opponent to move round and bait and take, so then you can get round that way. But if you do it once and they move in, and then you do a thing and you move in and you move the thing up, if you start doing you go, I go, you go, I go, when you got so many miniatures and so many units doing things, it slows the game down a very long way. And also you can't set up some of those longer plays that you can in a your turn, my turn system. It's particularly obvious when, because 40k has got lots of stratagems, but Heresy's got lots of reactions. They're both kind of the same thing, but stratagems tend to be things that I do to me. Reactions tend to be things that I'm doing about you. And it would particularly stand out in a game like Heresy, where you're trying to draw out a reaction. Yeah, I'm doing a thing here. Are you going to react? No. I'll do a thing here again. Are you going to react? No. I'm going to do another thing. Are you going to react? No. You're constantly pushing and probing and doing stuff, trying to draw these reactions from your opponent when you want them to react to you, so that when you drop the hammer over here, they haven't got any more reactions left to do. It's like, ha! I managed to startle them enough on the left flank, so I've got this thing over here, and they see it coming, and you see it coming. It's not so much, they know. So there's a whole strategic level, and that's why there's different types of war games. That's why there's you go, I go systems, which work really well on skirmish and combat patrol games. That's really good for them, and that's like Adeptus Titanicus is a you go, I go system. It's good for things like that. But on a bigger battle, I think it's just quicker and more. You can set up a long con. You can set up longer things with a my turn, your turn system. I think I've tried that. I think that's my humble. What do I know? But that's what I think. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think Games Workshop should have a you go, I go system in one of their core games, rather than in Adeptus Titanicus and Mordheim and Blood Bowl and some of their other small skirmish games? Or do you think that it is a skirmish thing? Or am I completely wrong? Because I have also spoken to a couple of people who have done the full Games Workshop 40k AOA, and they've tried the you go, I go thing, and they say it works quite well. I've met a couple of people who've said it. But what do you think? Over to you, because that was my 3 cents. It wasn't even 2 cents. That was 3 cents, and I don't know why I'm saying cents. It should be pence. It's pence. What is a cent? Who knows? Doesn't make any sense. The alternative reactive 40k is you go, I go. Okay, the other way round. All the words I said, turn them round. Books with different coloured sheets work fine. Yeah. Alternative activation is we go. 40k is you go. They need alternative activation because newcomers won't want to make 25 minutes. They need alternative activations because newcomers don't want to wait 25 minutes. Newcomers. Do you wait 25 minutes between turns? That's your third attempt at spelling newcomers. He's from the colonies, people. I appreciate the fact that you corrected it a few times there. It's good. Eternal Crusader, you still in the chat? Did I upset you earlier? Just drop a hello if you're still here. W key doesn't work. Too many gaming sessions. My man, it's W key. You've knackered it up. Well done. That's a sign of a proper gamer there. I like it. Yeah. What were we talking about? STC. Any idea of an STC topic. I've got core strats for 11th, and then the other one I was thinking about, because we're not going to do it tomorrow. We might do it next Wednesday. Do an STC. I do like chatting with Chris. He's a funny lad. Such dry humour. He's a funny lad. And then this week it is filming Thursday. No, not filming Thursday, but playing. Friday with just Craig. Something Saturday. I've got all them up there. The top 40 models that need an update. Top 40 models that need an update. I think we need a new Calgar, don't we? We've only had about 7 Calgars, and we've only recently had a new Calgar, so we need another new Calgar. I think we definitely need a Calgar. That needs an update. What else needs an update? Model-wise. I mean, there's the Grey Knight thing. Grey Knights need an update. Overall, that's probably all the 40 models there. We need a bike Calgar. Nice. Jump pack Calgar would be good as well. Bike Calgar, jump pack Calgar. Bring back universal special rules and psychic phase. They brought back some universal special rules with lethal hits, critical hits, low NOP, infiltrate, scout. There is USRs, but they've spread it out throughout the entire book. I agree. We need more USRs back. Psychic phase. Yeah, I think we're missing the psychic phase. The Tyranids feel like they're missing a psychic phase. The Grey Knights feel like they're missing a psychic phase. Only the Thousand Suns really have a psychic phase. New Sly Marbo, that would be excellent. Calgar is the new Primus Lieutenant, yeah. We need a Gravis Lieutenant, and we've got the Smash Captain coming, haven't we? Finally, there's a Smash Captain coming. But you need, if you think about it, most of the characters don't have jump packs yet. So all of those characters with jump packs, all of those characters on bikes, that's a whole new section there. You know, in the book, that'd be another 50 pages. Lieutenant on bike, Lieutenant on rock, Lieutenant with jump pack, Lieutenant with Terminator armor, Apothecary on bike, Apothecary with jump pack. Chaplain in Terminator. No, we got that guy. Chaplain with a jump pack. We got that guy as well. More people stood on rocks. More heroic characters doing heroic character things. That's definitely something that we could do. That's definitely something we could need. There's definitely something that we could do. Definitely something that we could need. Does that make... My words are already kerfuffling. I think we touched everything, guys. We touched everything. I've got some ideas for STC conversations. We discussed the horrific news about penguins. I'm sorry to bring cultural topics into it, but I had to. Equipment options with their own points cost. Crazy. We're never going to have that, man. I think we might have... Because it's heresy. That's a heresy thing. I think we might get... in 11th edition, some stuff having some... So when you look at the points in the back of the book, right? Yeah. Not that anyone uses the books anymore, because, you know, when are these up to date? But when you look at, like, that thing, it might say just below it, like, Unit X is 300 points. And then Unit X might be able to come with guns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Unit X, 300 points. But if you bring guns 5, Unit X costs 330 points. That's what we might see, I think. A good example is Devastators. We might see Devastators. 5 of them are 100 points. 10 of them are 200 points. And if you bring las cannons, add 10 points, add 20 points. We might see something like that. All the other weapon options like multi-mails, missile, it doesn't matter what in there. But if you bring this particular one, add. I think that's about as far as they'll get. We might see like Here's all the Terminators you can have. And they cost this much, they cost this much, 5 of them cost 200, 10 of them cost 400. Here's all the Terminators. If you add a Cyclone missile launcher, add 10. But on all the other war gear options are free. I think we might get something like that. And I think that's about as far as they'll go. So long as it's very, very simple for Timmy. Servo Skull, thank you for gifting a membership. You're an absolute legend. I appreciate you. Thank you. GG. High Iron and Spoon. So what you said, yeah. So, yeah. I think I frightened off Eternal Crusader, you know. I feel bad now. He didn't come back after I shouted at him. Might have to actually apologise to him next week. And he's normally always winding me up about white chocolate and stuff like that. And he's a white chocolate terrorist. And I'll have to say sorry to him. Haven't seen a Plague Marine with a bolter in almost 3 years now. They actually work quite well with bolters. So I chucked some in as wounds. Because you can give a couple of blight launchers. Because otherwise you just end up with all the heavy stuff. Because you can make a whole Plague Marine squad and give them all blight launchers, plasma weapons, heavy plague weapons, and you're pretty much done. And you're only firing your blight launchers and your plasmas. That's all you're firing. And all the choppy guys are. But then when they start getting shot at, which one am I pulling away? Am I bringing the plasmas away, or am I pulling away the heavy plague weapons? Because are they going to get in combat, or are they going to... I don't know. So I always like to put a couple of bolters in there. But that's just me. I ran Death Guard the other day. They're quite strong still. Which is worrying. Because they shouldn't be. But they are. It's the thing. Playing Emperor's Children and Death Guard. 2 out of 4 of those. Nasty, nasty god things. There is such a divide between how good Emperor's Children are. I mean, obviously at tournament levels, they're all balanced around the top end, but at casual levels, there's a massive divide between Emperor's Children and Death Guard. It's not funny. It's amazing how it could be. It's like, is this even the same game? Yeah. Funny that. Right, I've done the things, chat. We've done the things. Have we done the things? So it's nearly an hour and a half in. So I think we'll fire out a 2-minute warning. If anyone sees Eternal Crusader anywhere, I apologise to him. I feel bad. And Kostrat's got the thing we talked about Wednesday. We did that. The cat's okay. Look. He's so cute. He's so fat. Oh, you are here. Apology accepted. Thank you. I like that. That was late. That was good. Let him know. He let me know. Off the top rope with a steel chair. He's a sleepy little guy. Yeah. See, with the paws as well. It does that with the paws. It's just so cute. Right, yeah. So, 2-minute warning, guys. I'm going to Foxtrot Oscar. But thank you again for joining me on this week's Talkie Tuesday live stream. Thank you for keeping me company, and thank you for continuing to support the channel. You guys are absolute legends. I literally could not do this without you, so I appreciate you very much. This week is also another busy week for filming and not filming, for just playing. So I'm not sure how much hobby I'm going to get done outside of all of those things. But then in November it starts tailing off again. So it'll be back to smashing out. I've got to get all the demon side of the Emperor's Children done by the end of the year. I've got to get them all done. I've got to finish that project. I don't know if it's my place to ask, but how come you don't do something with Lehman and more love Jogan and you're back in there? Because we move forward. We're moving forward. Yes, things change, people change, plans change, goals change, and we are now somewhere new. And hopefully the channel continues to move forward. There are ups and downs. There are highs and lows. And I'm looking forward to the next edition. I'm looking forward to seeing what Amazon comes up with. I'm looking forward to collaborating with new people. And the number of people who are in the hobby now that when I started don't exist anymore, because I started in the 80s. And the number of people who are still in the hobby now who were all over it in 8th edition and the big explosion for the channel and the DZ days when everything was taking off, the number of those people who are still around, very, very small now. To stay in a hobby for a decade is a long time. No one stays in a hobby for a decade, except for a very, very few number of people, like golfers, like stay in it for a long time, or football, stay in it for a long. It's rare, and friends come and friends go, and things change. But now we're looking at the future. We're in a new place, in a new time, in a new edition, in a new land, slightly older, wonky knee, bad back, running low on rations, trying to drag ourselves over the finish line, but we will get there. We will get there together. We will complete this marathon, which is called life. We will get there in the end, together. And I'll see you all in Valhalla. Almost forget, Assault Terminators at last. Need to remember to get that box pre-ordered. Yes, guys. Pre-order Assault Terminators. They will sell out. It is going to be a very popular box. Also, if you do pre-order anything and you're in the UK and you want to get stuff from Element Games, use the link in the videos to go to Element Games and use code WIN13 because it really helps the channel out and you get money back too in the form of crystals. And I know Sultan is about buying 3 of those boxes of Assault Terminators. He's really keen. And he'll probably have them painted by Tuesday. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this week's Talkie Tuesday live stream. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the things. 3, yeah. And please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that sort of shenanigans. Eternal Crusader, welcome back to the chat. Night, Jackus Woods. Night, everyone. And happy wargaming.